All right, welcome back to the Big Easy Blitz podcast. Today we are going back to a sort of normal style episode. Brock and I will be giving you our regional predictions for college baseball and go a little more in depth on the Baton Rouge regional. But before we start, Brock has something important to say. So, Brock.
Yes. First, I just want to start. Shout out to everyone who got that interview done. That was a blast for me and Connor.
Yeah, yeah.
Hope we will have some more in the future. I'm kind of in the works with something. But what I really wanted to say is thank you to everybody over the last like week or so who has come up to me and Connor, giving us like kudos for the podcast.
Oh
It's
yeah.
been it's been awesome to see that and get told, hey, we watch your podcast. It's really cool. I just want to say thank you to all of y'all, and we're gonna keep putting them out if you keep watching.
Yeah. Like for example, me and Brock were at like dances the last couple of weeks or like just social events, and we'll have people coming up to us saying like they watch us and like they see us on their For You page and stuff, and that just makes us happy.
Yeah, just
So
even some guys that we go to school with who might not talk to a lot or, have that much, like, just pretty much don't talk to them and they'll still come up to us and be like, hey, we love your pod. It's just like, man, we're getting places.
we thank you. We thank you.
Yes.
All right, Brock, that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, so let's jump into it. So first we have the Nashville regional with Vanderbilt surprisingly getting the number one overall seed.
hmm
Brock, you want to sound off on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're playing really good baseball, but I did not think that they would. I thought for sure Texas would get the number one seed. Um, it's just the number one seed curse has been a thing of the past. Obviously, Tennessee broke that last year.
Mm,
But it's strange to see Vandy get the one seed because they were, I think the last ranking they were either five or six, and they just jumped to one. That's why college baseball rankings don't mean anything throughout the season. That's why you'll
yeah.
never hear me talk about them.
hmm We both correctly predicted Vanderbilt winning it, the
We
SEC
did.
tournament, though. So,
I think we only got like two games wrong the entire time. One of
yeah,
them was unfortunately LSU, but
I had Florida though, and Florida laid an
yeah,
egg. Remember that? So,
yeah.
um, but I in this regional, you have Vanderbilt as the one seed, Louisville as the two. I'm assuming I don't know if Wright State or East Tennessee is three,
E
four.
ETSU's three,
East
Wright
Tennessee's
State's four.
three, Wright State's
Yeah.
four. So, I mean, I'm gonna have Vandy winning this
hmm
regional with
Yeah.
relative ease.
I have Vandy winning also, but I watch out for Louisville. I have watched them play a little bit. They're a sneaky good team.
I feel like all the two seeds this year, like just looking at them, like you got Alabama as the two seed in the
Yeah.
Hattiesburg regional, like and Northeastern. I know Northeastern's a really good team.
hmm
So all the two seeds are really capable of
Really
upsetting
solid.
the one seeds, even a lot of three seeds.
Some three. Yep.
hmm
Absolutely.
All right. So now on to the Hattiesburg regional. Southern Miss comes in as the number 16 seed after dropping the Sun Belt Championship to Coastal Carolina.
hmm
I'm gonna have Alabama winning this regional. And I feel very bad for Southern Miss because that might be the toughest regional in the whole entire bracket.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, Miami has the capability of winning this
Yeah,
regional as a
exactly.
three seed. Like this is there's one team that I think got a harder draw for their super regional matchup that we'll get into. But it's in terms of regional, this is easily the hardest one. I'm also taking Bama. I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, there was one I was eyeing up down, like farther down. It's the Coastal Carolina regional. I ironically, because both are from the
Yeah.
Sun Belt, but that one's really tough too. But we'll get into that
Yes.
later. So right now we have an SEC matchup in the Supers. We have Vanderbilt versus Alabama.
Yep.
Um, so now we have the Tallahassee regional.
Okay. So we're going, all right, we're going that way.
Yeah,
This one, Florida State just fell off a cliff. We're red hot. They almost got up to number one, which again,
saw that.
college baseball doesn't matter. Or rankings doesn't matter. Sorry.
Right.
Um, and then they got beat by UNC in a series, and they got beat by UNC again in the conference tournament. So UNC has had their number. But I think they'll be fine in this regional. I think it might look a little tough, but Mississippi State as a three seed might scares me a little bit. But they've been really inconsistent this year. But I'll take Florida State to win this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. Northeastern's a solid team, good mid-major, and then Mississippi State, like you said. I mean, obviously they're from the SEC, so they have the potential to win it all or win this regional. But I'm gonna go with the 9 seed Florida State. I was looking at you bring up UNC. I was looking at like the top 4 seeds post on the NCAA Instagram, and literally all the comments were just like UNC fans like pissed off because they didn't get a top 4 seed, and it was just
Oh,
SEC.
womp womp.
Womp womp. All right, now we go to Corvallis, blue blood Oregon State team has, I mean, from what it looks like, I guess what St. Mary's is the 4 seed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like a pretty solid regional. TCU's obviously a good baseball team. USC's all right, but I'm gonna take the blue blood Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know anything about Big Ten baseball. So
Yeah, well said.
like I literally don't know anything about them. I'm gonna take Oregon State. I feel like they're always underrated every year. Like I did not know they were gonna be a top 8 seed.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, TCU might give them trouble. I know they usually have a pretty good team every
Right.
year. But I'll take Oregon State.
Yeah, I agree.
Picking a lot of chalk though. I don't like this. Taking a lot of the
Well, I
this
mean, yeah, no, I hear you. It's gonna change though.
yeah.
So we
What's
have Oregon State and Florida State meeting up at the Supers.
yep,
Speaking of UNC, here we go. I got UNC as the 1, Oklahoma as the 2, Nebraska as the 3, and Holy Cross as the 4.
yep.
I I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma here. It's SEC baseball, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like all SEC teams look so appealing for
I know.
upsets. You know, like even Mississippi State as a 3, I was thinking about it.
I agree. It's
So I'm gonna
just
go
something about it.
Oklahoma with an upset.
I agree with the SEC baseball thing, but Oklahoma's a new team and their offense is rough to watch.
That is true.
I remember that LSU series. They're a hard team to watch. Their pitching's unbelievable. They're gonna have a top 5 pick, in Kyson Witherspoon. But I think UNC is gonna be too much to handle. I'm not a fan of UNC after last year.
Right.
Vance Honeycutt, I will never, ever, ever, ever like you or forgive you for what you did to us. Um, but yeah, UNC, I'm gonna take him again. And I don't know anything about Big Ten baseball, so I don't have any opinion on Nebraska other than LSU played them. That's all I know about that.
LSU won.
Yeah, yeah, that was when they played like that random
Oh,
series in the beginning against it was
Dallas Baptist was that
yeah
that?
no.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they played in the same week, but Dallas Baptist was the midweek, and then we played
Uh,
like Kansas State, Nebraska.
yeah, just a bunch of like random
Yeah.
teams. I gotcha.
Hmm.
So now we move on to the Eugene regional. And honest to God, this might be like the weakest regional
Yeah,
in
this is
the.
bad.
I don't know anything about any of these teams. So by default, I guess I'll take Oregon.
Yep. I know that Jay Johnson coached at Arizona, and they're always pretty good. But
That's all I know.
I know Oregon has a player who's like a Golden Spikes finalist. I don't know who he is. I forgot what his name is, but
Really?
I I don't know. Again, Big Ten baseball. Don't know anything about anything. I know LSU played Oregon, but for a couple years ago in that regional, I was the
Yeah, I
most fun
remember
I've
that.
had watching a regional where LSU wasn't good in my life.
That was
Would you agree?
Cruz's
That was
freshman year?
yeah. That
Yeah.
was that whole like fun cores freshman year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Oregon in this one.
Wasn't didn't LSU play like Central Connecticut in that
Yep,
regional? Yeah.
yep, and they almost lost.
Yes, they did. And Central Connecticut ironically is in the Auburn regional this year. We're going to get to them later.
Yep.
Um So moving on, we have the Conway Regional now, hosted by Coastal Carolina. This is another stacked regional. You have
Oh yeah.
Coastal hosting, and then you have Florida as the 2, and East Carolina, which is obviously a really good team, as a 3.
Yes.
And I don't know too much about Fairfield, obviously, but Fairfield's
I
the
don't.
4th.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are gonna know much about any of the 4 seeds in
Mm-mm.
this
Yeah, no,
entire bracket.
right.
I know where you're going with this. I think we're gonna be have the same pick, but I'll let you go real quick.
No, so you go first, because I think you're going Florida.
Oh yeah, I'm going Florida, which makes you feel like you're not going Florida the way you just said that.
No, I'm not going Florida because they just sold me in the
Wow.
SEC champ or in the SEC
Wow.
tournament. I'm going East Carolina.
The first 3 seed upset. I like it.
Pirate
I
up,
like
baby.
it.
Look, East Carolina is not a team you want to see as a 3 seed
Not at all.
at all. Because I mean, look, East Carolina the past couple of years have been like flirting with
Close.
top 10. Like they
Hmm.
had Trey Savage a couple years ago. He's now
Yep.
with the Blue Jays in their farm system. So look,
Yep.
East Carolina's going to be a team to watch out. And I'm going to pick them to meet up with Auburn in the Auburn regional. I have
Yeah,
Auburn winning that regional.
yeah. Quick. I like the ECU pick. I like the we're picking upsets.
Good.
However, I can't get over ECU last year. They lost a home regional to Evangeline.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Did not. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. I remember exactly where I was for that too.
Was it
And
Evangeline or Evansville?
Evansville. Yeah, that's one of those two. I don't know where either of them
Yeah.
are, but they lost to one of those two.
Yeah.
And then that team went on to get murdered by Tennessee. But yeah, I don't know how you're not going Florida here. They're red hot. I know they lost the SEC tournament. That
Nope,
doesn't
they
mean
sold me the
anything.
SEC tournament.
That's fair. I'm gonna go Florida. Sorry to Coastal Carolina. No, nobody's showing them love.
Oh yeah, no, Coastal. I like your
Poor guys.
uniforms, but that's pretty much all I
Yeah,
got for you.
yeah. This next one, I mean, yeah, you said it best. I mean, Auburn. Um,
Every time
they're
we bring up Auburn, I want to shout out Brad and Gianni.
yes, yes, they had the like the talent to win it all easily. I think it's just their pitching might be holding them back.
That's exactly what Brad was saying.
Yes.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, moving on. All right, so you
We
want
going
to go to
You want to go
Arkansas?
fake? Yeah, let's go. Let's work from the bottom up because
All right.
LSU's yeah.
Okay. Uh, geez, and this kind of looks like a relatively weak
Yeah.
regional that are up in Fayetteville. Fayetteville. I'm gonna have Arkansas kind of running through this one.
Hold on. Well, you talk. I'm gonna look something up because North Dakota State is a terrible team. They had to have won their conference to get into this.
Speaking of terrible teams, LSU plays a terrible team.
Yes, I want to get into that later. Yeah,
We'll get into that
we'll
later.
save that. You want to start real quick. I'm just kidding.
Brock's looking
Just
up.
bear with me here. Bear with me here. They
Okay.
had like when LSU played them, they were god awful. They had
Oh,
to.
I forgot LSU played him earlier in the
They played.
season.
They played like a back-to-back midweek game.
They played them twice.
Yeah. This is yeah, they beat Oral Roberts to win
What's
the
the record?
championship. I'm not seeing their record. It's probably a good thing. They probably want to hide that. 20
Good.
and 32.
Good
20 and
Lord.
32 when they got into the hey, that's baseball, man. You can get hot at the right
I'm
time.
telling you, that's baseball.
Tulane did it a couple years ago. North Dakota State did it, and there's one
Tulane
more
almost
team.
did it again.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, jeez.
That's. Look, I wonder what seed they were. It's not showing it. That's. I'm not even gonna look into that anymore. That's crazy. I
Hmm.
love baseball so much.
I know that's the beautiful thing about baseball. That would never happen in like football or
But
basketball.
no, not at all.
Um, all right. So you have Arkansas advancing as well.
Yes, and this is what I was talking about with the hardest super regional matchup possible. A 14 seeded Tennessee.
Oh, that is
If
awful.
Arkansas has to win, that's I mean, poor Arky. They've
Yeah.
been the end of the season's been rough for them.
Brock and I both hate Tennessee, but
Yes.
you got to give credit where credit is due, and Tennessee's a
Hmm.
very good team, and I'm going to have them advancing out of their regional as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. We don't even need to like touch on that. I mean, I don't know anything about Wake Forest. They had one good year, like back in 2023. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think Tennessee's gonna walk their way to Omaha. That's my bold prediction.
So you think they're going to
They
walk
got,
all over
oh
Arkansas?
yeah, oh yeah. I think they have a chip on their shoulder
Okay.
because
Fair enough.
Arkansas swept them. I'm pretty sure.
Alrighty. Now, ooh, there's another tough regional up here. I'll get into that later. So now we're moving on to the Clemson regional, hosted
Mhm.
by Clemson. Oh, give me Kentucky. Give me Kentucky. Same
Ooh,
reason.
ooh,
Kentucky. Oh, wait.
you're,
No, 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 no. Hold on. Wait.
ooh,
I'm gonna
your
take that.
SEC by. No, don't
Yeah.
be proud of your pick. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no.
your SEC.
I forgot how bad Kentucky was when I watched them play Oklahoma. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna take West Virginia.
yeah. That was your SEC bias coming out there.
Yeah.
Kentucky's not a good team this year. I don't know.
No.
They barely squeaked in. I'm going to take Clemson, just because they have one of the best players in the country, Cam Cannarella. He's
Yeah.
a center fielder that every highlight I see of him is him making that like over the shoulder
I was watching that
against the
live.
wall. Yeah, that was
That was
unbelievable.
electric.
Yeah, I'm taking them, just because I don't know much about any of these teams except Kentucky, who's not very good.
Yeah, no.
And
Um,
let's skip the LSU one. We'll come back to that because
all right, we'll
we're going
come
to go
back
more
to
in
the
depth.
LSU regional.
Yeah,
I've seen good things about West Virginia though, so that's the reason why I'm gonna go
yeah,
them.
they're usually pretty good.
Yeah. So now we got the Athens regional, hosted by Georgia. This is a pretty solid regional. Shout out Donovan LaSalle, Barb's finest at
Yes.
Oklahoma State. And they have a pretty solid Duke team as a two seed, but I'm gonna go with Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia's pretty unbeatable at home. Because their ballpark's so small and they hit a million home runs. Not much to touch on there. I don't know who Binghamton is. Sorry if
Binghamton.
any sorry if any of Binghamton's players are watching. Hope y'all play great. I just don't know who or where y'all are. Um, but I'm taking Georgia in this one. Enough said there.
That's all right. That's all right. Shout out Binghamton though.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Oxford Regional. You have Ole Miss and you have Georgia Tech as a. Is Georgia Tech good? Like, are they a good two seed?
They were on the verge of hosting. I know they had one really, really good player. I don't know much about
Yeah,
him though.
Drew
Drew Burris.
Burris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and the other two don't need to be talked about that much. I'm going with Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is I feel like they're a weird team to predict. They've been flying under the radar all year. I haven't really heard much about them. They beat LSU. They just completely handcuffed LSU in that miserable SEC tournament game.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to take. Oof. No, give me Ole Miss. I'm going to
yeah.
play it safe. Give me Ole Miss. SEC baseball in June is unmatched.
hmm so now moving on, we have one more little quadrant left or section left. We have the Los Angeles regional hosted by UCLA. This is the regional I was just talking about that also looks really solid. Because they have UC Irvine as the two, and UC Irvine's one of, if not the best mid majors.
Hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
I would put them as the best mid major this year.
Coastal's pretty good, but UC Irvine's really solid.
Yeah.
And they have ASU, big Power Four team, and they
Shout
have
out
Fresno
Ryan.
State.
Shout out Ryan Darrow. I saw he follows and likes our TikTok, so I know he's going
Hey,
there next year. Shout out.
good for you,
Um,
Ron.
you want to go first or
I'm gonna have the Anteaters. Everybody on this podcast needs to know now that Brock and I are UC Irvine fans,
yes, we
devout
are.
UC Irvine fans. So Brock,
Connor put me on during March Madness, and UC Irvine got snubbed from a host. They were like
no,
people were
they got snubbed from an automatic bid, or not an automatic bid, at large bid,
we yeah
because they lost their conference tournament to San
yeah
Diego, and then
yeah.
I wanted them to get in, but they didn't pick them.
It's all
This is
good.
rigged.
I'm still taking UC Irvine. They were top 10 in the country at one point. Um,
I'm proud of you.
I don't know anything about UCLA baseball. And I know UC Irvine was really, really good. I watched them play one game actually. I know not many people can say they watch UC Irvine baseball. I did actually tune into a game. They're really solid.
All right, you like them? I don't know a damn thing about them. I just saw they were ranked pretty high earlier in the
No,
year. But once again, shout out Ryan Dara with Arizona State. You're gonna do
yeah.
big things, bud. And then the final regional, we have the Austin regional, and this might be the weakest regional ever. I'm gonna have Texas running through it.
I'm also taking Texas, but I know shout out Jack Bazile also watches. Christian Brothers legacy. His brother plays for Houston Baptist, I'm pretty sure. So hope he does well. But unfortunately, I'm taking Texas
Why did I
because
think it was Houston Christian?
I thought it was too, but I guess I was wrong. Because I know they won their conference tournament, so they're in somewhere.
Yeah, they beat UNO,
Yeah,
sadly, but
yeah. All right, and with that, we'll go back to the
Baton Rouge
Baton
regional.
Rouge regional, which we'll get more in depth of, and I have actually a full breakdown of each team
Oh,
for
look at
this one.
that.
I'll start
Go
with
ahead, take
LSU.
the floor.
I'll start with first off. I want to start with like who LSU is going to throw, what Jay Johnson's going to do. Is he going to do what he did in 2023 and throw Kate Anderson against a terrible Little Rock team? Little Rock's record is 24 and 32.
They're bad.
Um, they're not a good baseball team, but they got hot at the right time. Um, that's pretty much that's baseball for you. Got hot at the right time. They got in. It's kind of weird that that's two out of the last 3 years. The four seed in LSU's regional is a sub 500 team that won their conference tournament.
Tulane last time.
Uh, yeah.
hmm
Yes. Sorry. Excuse me. But yeah, Little Rock's Friday night guy has like I think 6.3 ERA.
Good
Um,
God Almighty.
and their number two has a 5.2 ERA or something like that.
Mhm.
So LSU's bats have been struggling. This is the perfect chance to turn them around. Um, Not much really to say. Just who's going to pitch. I would personally like to see him go Jaden Newt, Shea Shores, and Jacob Myers, like in game one, the same thing they did against Ole Miss. They held Ole Miss to 2 runs. Little Rock, I don't think their offense is better than Ole Miss. Their
I don't
team
think that's a
bat,
bad take. I think
yeah,
that's a pretty good take.
their team batting average is like 270
Mm.
on the season. LSU's is 301. Yeah, I think LSU cruises in game one in this. And I think they're gonna throw Cade Anderson just because if you push them back a day, that means if you win the regional, then a super regional, Anderson and Ianson will be on short rest. I don't
Yeah,
think Jay Johnson wants that. Thank God we got a pretty favorable uh, regional. I mean, none of these teams are very good except DBU. DBU is real good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got on Little Rock. I would like to completely, that's on me. Rhode Island is a good team. I said that just out of spite, just because this
It's
regional is
Rhode
not very
Island.
good.
It's Rhode
Yeah.
Island. What I mean.
As of right now, I saw this. Somebody said this earlier. I was watching like the awards or not the selection show. It is 68 degrees right now in Rhode Island in the middle of May. They're going to be in a
Yikes.
very rude awakening when they come down here to Baton Rouge in 95 degrees with humidity.
Plus some.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think their record's like 40 and 20, so they're
They had a
pretty
good
solid.
record. Yeah,
Yeah,
they had a good
they
record.
they can hit. I know they can hit. They have like 5 guys who are batting over 300. They're a
Oh
good
yeah.
little squad.
Uh-huh.
And then Dallas Baptist, they're always pretty good. LSU played them earlier. That was when Connor Ware had like 5 no-hit innings, and then he gave up a home run. But I mean, I think LSU gets out of this regional pretty safe and sound.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I'm also gonna have LSU winning it. I really don't have that much to say other than I think it is a pretty favorable regional. Like you said, Little Rock's not that good, and although Rhode Island's record is kind of scary, they do play in the A10, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Um, and then so I guess Brock, I have one question. So if LSU wins 2 games, are they good?
No,
Like,
you got to win 3 in your regional.
okay, you gotta win 3. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about though, is the game 3. Just because LSU's I mean, their bullpen's turning a corner, but it's just always in the back of my mind.
Yeah,
But
I
if they
know.
win the first 2 games, then whatever team comes out and loses record has to beat you twice. So that's what I mean. I like our odds. We got Anderson game one, which I think is what they're going to go, and then Irons in game two, and
So
then
I guess so are we done pretty much talking about the regional stuff?
yeah, yeah,
All
that's
right.
all.
So I guess I can ask you about this. Why did Jay Johnson go Cade in the first game against A&M? Why did he go Cade Anderson and then Ianson?
So I was also curious about this, and then I watched his post game interview, and his answer was he didn't know, like he wanted to get both of them innings, just in case, like if they did lose game one, that way both of them would have innings pitched, so they wouldn't be so Ianson wouldn't be sitting a whole week without pitching for next week.
Okay.
So he just wanted to keep his arm fresh, and that's pretty much that's the only reason. And they needed to win game one, not needed, but winning game one would have pretty much
Locked
locked
up.
up a national seed, which they got. So
I'm
that's
assuming
that's
he
very
didn't say that though, huh? It was,
no, that's not
yeah.
no.
I mean, that was kind of a given though.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
doesn't have
He
to say
he
it.
he did it to keep the guy's arms fresh. I mean, deep down, they needed to win the first game
Mhm.
to lock up his national seed.
Yeah, it was obvious LSU wasn't really playing to win the tournament.
Yeah. I just talking about the game. It's kind of crazy now that everything's in that the number 1 overall team in the country to begin the year did not make the postseason this year.
Oh
That's
wow. And
unbelievable.
that's crazy.
I thought maybe they'd squeak in because they won 2 games, but that's
So
crazy.
Laviolette had like a terrible year, huh?
Um, in his standards, yes, he had a down year. He struggled early, and then he kind of turned it on a bit,
Hmm.
and then he kind of just, I mean, he was kind of one of the guys on the team. And
Yeah,
then, actually, I don't know if you saw it, he broke his hand when he got hit, and then had surgery the same day and came back and played against OSU
that's
and
some
had
dog.
and had an RBI against Cade Anderson. Like that's whoever drafts him is going to be very, very uh, what's the word?
Just
Jesus.
happy with the pick.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Um,
Hope it's my Cubbies.
aw. Um, I
Shout out
saw
Zach
he
Freelo and Tyler Chamber. Both of them asked me for a shout out.
I saw like Laviolette's stats. He was batting like 258 with over a 1 OPS. So I'm assuming he hits a lot of home runs and walks a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, he is pretty good average, but this year, like I said, this year was just a down year for him.
Right.
And just, I mean, Texas A&M as a team wasn't very good. They were littered with injuries.
Really.
Yeah, like they had like I think I saw somewhere that they had like an entire they could field an entire team with just the guys that were injured. Like that's how
Yes.
bad the
They're on
injuries
some
were.
Pelican stuff.
Yeah, oh, man, don't that's it's baseball season. Let's steer
Yeah,
away
you're
from the
right.
Pelicans.
I apologize. Speaking of Pelicans, the biggest Pelicans fan of all time, Sam Kobrock, will be on the show soon. He couldn't today because, like we said previously, he's a very busy man.
I'd love
But
to know what he was
hopefully,
doing.
what's that?
I'd love to know what Sammy's doing
He said
daily.
he had work today on
Oh,
Memorial
okay.
Day, which is kind of interesting, but whatever.
He will
Um,
be back soon. We hope.
yes.
He has an
Uh,
invite. It's just a matter of
yes.
if he
Sam
takes it
has
or not.
it's out there. He's gonna take it. He wants to be on here.
Yeah,
Uh, One last thing before we kind of wrap this up. I am getting my wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to film Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I should be good, but
it might be a
um,
little. His voice might sound a little weird.
yeah, I might be a little dazed, but
Yeah.
just send prayers, send prayers.
Yeah. So kind of what Connor said. So this week, obviously, tomorrow and Wednesday, we're probably gonna not probably we're gonna miss.
Yeah.
Try to get one out Thursday. Trying to get one out Friday. Kind of a preview to the game. I don't know what time they. I think it's three
When do the
o'clock is
games
the game.
start?
I think LSU plays at 3 o'clock. I'll look that up while I'm
Tomorrow?
talking. No. Friday. They all start Friday.
Oh, they also okay. So that wow, that's a long break.
Yeah. But so then we'll probably after this week, we're gonna probably have to take a week off because we have senior trip coming up.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll be full swing trying to put one out every day.
Yep. Exactly. Well said, Brock.
All right, we'll be try and find this. Sorry for the delay.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking to see when the games start. LSU
Okay.
game.
Um, but while Brock's doing that, we thank all of you who listen and tell a friend to tell a friend to like, subscribe, and follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Big Easy Blitz.
Yep. Yep. That's it. LSU plays at 2 o'clock on Friday. That kind of sucks. I would
Yeah,
rather a night game at Alex Box. I guarantee they gave the other two the night game, huh?
I'd imagine.
Yeah, 6:30. They gave Rhode Island and Dallas Baptist 6:30 at the box.
That's all right. I mean, we play freaking Little Rock.
Yeah, I guess nobody wants to see that.
But okay, if we get the night game for the winner of the 2-3 game, that would be
Yeah, we
electric,
will.
you
Yeah,
know?
we will.
So, all right.
Yeah, that's all we got today. Kind of try to keep it short. I think we went a little longer than we thought.
Yeah, we did. It's all
But
right.
I mean, we both love baseball. I love talking college baseball. It's the greatest sport in the world behind college football. College sports in general is so fun. Anybody who says pro is better, I just have to disagree with you.
We need to get a debate on that. We need to get somebody
I
here who,
I have a couple people that had that other opinion.
okay, bet. I'll set that up.
Yeah,
Hopefully
for
soon.
sure.
We could do that soon.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah, that's all we got today. Thank you for coming. Episode 8. Um, we will see you hopefully Thursday, if not Friday.
Yes, sir. Signing off. See ya.